Welcome everybody to the seasonal diet, eating what our ancestors ate when they ate it like we were evolved to do. Very important video. I meant to do this a little bit earlier in the year, but we are still in pretty good season for these foods. The shellfish. So in winter and spring, there was not a whole lot of food growing around for our ancestors, and it was not common to eat that much livestock meat at this time of year after you had just taken care of your animals all winter and now you've turned them out to graze and they're self-sustainable. So our ancestors had to get very creative in the food scarce months now in the spring until the summer started when things started to get abundant. One very good way that they got their protein was shellfish, and most of it is at its best tasting and quality, and it's in our traditional dishes around the world in the winter and spring, depending on where you are. Let's start with crab. If you're after stone crabs, you'll want to mark your calendars for mid-October through the end of April, about where we are right now. This is when they're the most abundant, and they just taste the best. Dungeness crabs, another great thing to eat. They are best enjoyed from December through August, so those are good for quite a while, but they are better, of course, when the water is cooler. The most common ones you will find available in the fish markets are king crabs and snow crabs. King crab season is actually quite short, from October to January, making them really a special winter treat, and snow crabs, on the other hand, are available from about mid-October to mid-May, so they're in season for a bit longer. But these crabs can be found in your stores and fish markets year-round. They're just a lot better in the months that I just went over. There are different types of crabs, like the soft shell crabs, blue crab being the most common. They are great from early March until late September, or even longer into the winter months if you live in the right place. So in general, winter and spring are the best for crab meat, even though you can find them year-round really. But crabs aren't the only winter food from the sea. You can't forget about lobster. Now these can vary depending on the species and location you're in. Maine lobster is best between late June and late December, while if you're in warmer waters, Florida or California, where lobsters are harvested, for example, they peak from about August to March. So in general, they tend to be better when the water is colder, but not freezing cold, wherever you find them in the world. I know most of us are too poor to be eating a whole lot of lobster. Just realize that our ancestors did not have this perception of lobster. As a matter of fact, in many cultures, they were regarded as peasants' cuisine. You just needed someone from the local tribe to be able to hold their breath long enough and swim for them, or you could make some traps and you could have top quality lobster every day back in ancient times if you really wanted. Same with most of the other foods we are talking about today. Let's not forget about clams and their cousins. Atlantic hardshell clams, or quahogs, they're pretty much available all year, but they are really best from April until September, peaking in the early summertime. Manila clams, these are also available year-round, but they're at their best in the winter months. Those are probably the most common ones that you're going to be able to get in the stores. Oysters and scallops, they're also an amazing option when the water is cooler. Oysters are famously best in the months that start or that include the letter R, from September through April. Scallops are a year-round good treat, but they also peak in the winter from December through March. And then finally, you don't get these many places in the world, but if you like southern cooking like I do, crawfish is on the top of the menu this time of year. The best months are from February until May, even though you can really find them in stores and in abundant amount from November until July. So that's all I'll speak about today. Perfect season for most of these things that I mentioned. There are many other varieties of both of these things in fresh and seawater, so almost all of our ancestors would have been eating these in top amount this time of year. So next time you're thinking about what seafood to enjoy, consider the season, because not only does it guarantee it will be more fresh, but it can also connect us to our tradition of seasonal eating that goes back to our ancestors living thousands of years ago.